All right, so let's talk Kichi. So again, Kichi Hogan is basically going to be our first assassin in a long time. I think it's been a year and a half since your last assassin in the game. That assassin was Summer Okita. What's nice about Kichi is basically everything that Summer Okita wishes she was. Kichi is somebody that actually can be a fluid looper for you. Now, I want to not overhype her in that sense for you. She is good, but there is a reason that there were so many people happy to get the Summer Valks on JP. She is quick, and quick has its drawbacks when it comes to trying to loop. If you're up against a 333 node, she can loop for you. But you've started to see already as of this point on JP, Kiichi Hogan is someone that they kind of designed with the old mentality. So she's a little bit too little too late. She works, but only in that 333 node setup. You start getting into 90 plus nodes, it doesn't really work. So that's kind of why I think she is a good and valuable unit, especially because honestly, Rider nodes are annoying at times. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen them almost to go even more robust with her, but I think they feared for the future of their assassins if they did. She got that Ara energy. Oh, you'll see. I think chat will really like her. Chat will thank their stars that she is a welfare, basically. But again, so looking at her right here, just starting off to begin with, she's got 9.4k attack. This is not bad. Again, anything in the 9k range is good for me as far as 4 stars is concerned. She's got 11.1k HP. She is Earth attribute. She is 0.56 NP gain rate. That is not strong. That is definitely in the like, hey, it's a pretty average number, but it's honestly kind of on the weaker side for what we like to look for. Ironically enough, she does have the 4% NP charge defense, so she'll take more. She'll get more charge when getting hit. She has chaotic balanced. She is gender unknown, and let me just go ahead and tell you, she is gender unknown, but that is a woman. I don't care what Japan says to you. She is demonic, feminine looking, humanoid, immune to pigify. There you go. There's that other weird one again. Servant and weak to anima elish. She is double buster, double quick. And back then, I remember talking about this and saying, I wish she had either the second arts card or a third quick card. I maybe still wish those things, but this is definitely a good layout for Summer Scotty now as we look forward. This definitely helps out in the scenario where you're like, hey, look, all of a sudden, I have the capability of popping off with both my buster and my quick. You guys can see too, every single one of her hit counts is average with 2 exceptions. The arts card's above average and the extra card is below average in terms of hit counts. Her first skill here is again going to be quick performance of 3 turns and evasion of 2 attacks 3 turns. Again, I like it. If you're going to pair a steroid with survivability, it's at least got breathing room. It has multiple turn durations that you can choose when you want to pop certain things, just so that you don't necessarily die because you chose to pop it on one turn or not get enough damage because you chose to pop it on another. So I do like the fact that it's got multi-turn duration here. It's 30%. It's definitely a nice strong skill. Her second skill here is a targetable charge skill, and that is in and of itself nice, but it's only 20%. It increases their critical star absorption for 1 turn by 200%. I'm gonna give this sort of a failing grade, not because she really needs it, but because as a targeted skill, this is kind of weird, because honestly, we've seen that there's some targeted skills out there with 5,000% absorption. So if your goal for targeting would be to actually get the stars soaked to someone, this might not make much of a difference. It might, but it might not. So it's still okay, but I think probably my biggest knock against this is I wish this were more than 20. I really do. Because especially as you start to look towards the future with 90 plus and then plus down the line, Kichi Hogan already having that sort of quick refund amount, with this, I really wish it was just a little bit more just to help. Summer Valkyrie got 10 hits. Their arts, they should be quick, pretty much, right? Her third skill here is, again, party attack of 3 turns by 20%, which is fine in and of itself. And then this is, again, going to help out the quick here with a party NP gen of 3 turns by 20%. It's really funny how when you start going through a lot of the quick units, you start noticing how unselfish they are with their buffs, and yet how selfish their devoted support is. Like, the devoted support will only buff 1 unit versus like the actual damage dealing units buff everybody, and it's really kind of funny to watch that because quick doesn't really have the capability of taking advantage of it too much. But again, definitely welcome to have the extra NP gen in this, and it's all on a low skill cooldown. She gets presence concealment A for some additional star gen, magic resistance EX, so hope you don't face her too often, and territory creation B plus for an additional boost to that 4-hit arts card, honestly, which I'm like kind of surprised. Definitely the arts card is going to help out in the face of that 0.56 there. She's anti-archer attack damage aptitude, but you don't care because you're not getting the coins. Even if you did, this one wouldn't necessarily be your top priority. It would almost certainly be mana loading for her. So like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about this. Her Noble Phantasm here is a 7-hit AoE, and that's, again, part of the reason why she's actually fairly decent. She's got quick up, she's got NP gain, and she's got a 7-hit AoE NP. So it does help. It's not quite Dante's or Lancelot level of hit. Well, actually, sorry. Yeah. But it's still better than having like a 3-hit or something like that. So I think it's okay. She deals damage to all enemies. She removes their defensive buffs after. That is undesirable. I would definitely prefer defensive buff removal before damage, but it's better than not having it. So it's at least an option, but I think that ultimately is another sort of like issue. Her kit here is all good, but it's like you can still see signs that they were trying to hold her back, and I don't really understand why. Still to this day, I don't get their stance on quick, and it looks like they're really afraid of some of the units, and I'm really just not certain why that's the case. Again, she gets a quick performance up of 1 turn, activates first here of 10%. To me, also, this could potentially be stronger, but I understand that as a welfare, anything they do to boost her damage even more is only going to make her pop off even harder in the long run, but I digress. This event may eventually one day get a main interlude, and she might actually get some attention. So, in fact, who knows? Maybe JP will see Little Big Tengu show back up since NA's getting it. But I would also think that if they were going to do that, they should have done that already. So there's that. Anyways, that's Kiichi Hogan in a nutshell. And again, just show you guys her NP damage here. I think there's too little time for that in January. Oh, now, if they had actually gotten on that, no. Mama. All right, so here's Kiichi Hogan right here, middle of the pack. And you might be thinking, well, that's not that good. Well, remember, this is sorted by NP1, and what is she? She's a welfare, so you're going to have NP5. She doesn't have a damage niche, so no extra damage here. You don't have to pay attention to that. But 29,000, where does that put her on the assassin list? Well, that would put her right behind an NP interluded shooting. That's not bad, guys. In fact, if you actually start to look at this, yeah, if she were to get an NP interlude, all of a sudden, this would actually be the value of NP2. So I think she could definitely, if she were to get some attention down the line, be a little bit of a monster. But still, I think Kiichi Hogan, for a lot of people, is going to be welcome for a number of reasons. One, she is the most fluid looper that Assassin has seen to date on NA. Two, she honestly is an assassin that is welfare, which is a class that has not had a welfare in a hot second. So I think people will be happy for that as well. Ironically enough, that'll probably quickly play out in the end, but I won't talk about that yet. But still, I think Kichi is one of those units where people are just going to be happy to see her, basically, not just because they like her, but also because people are just going to need assassins. So I think that'll be definitely a nice thing for her.